right. Yeah.
All right.
You were saying.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Good
All
to
right.
see
So
you.
we got the lovely one half of the Universal Secrets, Tiffany Mac.
Hello. How are you doing this evening,
Yes.
Bobby?
And I like the thought came to my mind whenever I was talking to you about what happened Tuesday when Kevin wasn't feeling 110%. That I was thought in my mind that you still owe us a visit to Intermission Transmission. And here
Yes.
you are right now.
And here we
I'm
are.
here.
Yay.
And I've got my spaceship with me.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
a nice picture too, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I looked at the you had on your one banner picture you shared was I think maybe your daughter drew that.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a picture on my profile. It's the banner behind your profile picture.
Yeah.
And it's a picture that my daughter drew maybe about a year or two ago, but it's so classic. And I couldn't believe that she sort of grabbed all of the crazy obsessions that we have.
Yeah.
And so one of the things was it was so cute. There's like a unicorn with a little spacesuit on, and then there's a sloth with a spacesuit on, and it just is so adorable. So I don't know. I like that picture a lot. I'd like to actually print it out and have it posted in my house somewhere, but I haven't done that yet. So.
All right, cool. Now you were going to suggest a kind of a topic base for tonight. What was your idea?
Yeah, so I was thinking that maybe we would talk a little bit about the stigma behind people coming forth with these stories of whether it's aliens or spirits or Bigfoot, whatever you want to talk about that causes a stir. And I think that we could probably have a good conversation about that. So that's what I was thinking.
I don't know what to ask on that, but so I'm going to let you talk.
Okay.
You share what you know. I mean, you've had experiences, so you know more about it.
Yeah. So, when it comes to, gosh, it's almost a trauma when you go through these experiences, when you have these nighttime visitations that you can't really explain. And the things that I've experienced, I tried to share with my first husband. And it shocked him so much that he couldn't understand it. And he really rebelled. And I knew immediately that I would never be able to share any stories with him, any kind of conversation with him at all. And that's sad, because when it comes down to your partner and your family, you should be able to communicate and share what's going on. And from that point, hello, Amy. From that point, I really realized that I was going to have to deal with that information on my own. And it was traumatizing, because I wanted to share with my husband what was happening to me at night and why I was so distressed and why I wasn't getting any rest. And it was just really difficult to do. So it's a hard thing.
Yeah, I remember when I was growing up, of course, we had, I grew up in the 60s, in California, which is kind of weird in itself. But anyway, I would, talk about having a special friend and, talking to my friend, in the bedroom or whatever, And of course, they just, you're just imagining it, whatever.
And how old were you when you first started seeing stuff?
I don't really know. I know it was early, but I don't
really
know.
Young.
Yeah, I don't know about how early, but I noticed when I started recognizing it, probably it was around 10 years old, I think. I really started to formulate, hey, this is real. But
Mm-hmm.
I also learned real quick, we don't talk about it.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
in the early 70s, when I was 10 years old in 1971, you don't talk about seeing UFOs. You don't talk about seeing shadows or visions or dreams. You don't even talk about your weird dreams you might have.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk about that. And
Which
so,
is strange because there
yeah,
was a big, huge hippie revolution in the 60s and 70s that were really proactive when it came to, meditation and, God forbid, psychedelics and things like that,
yeah.
that would open the mind a little bit more. There were a lot more free thinkers then.
And of course, I couldn't, I didn't know how to evaluate the spirit visitations or ghosts or anything like that. So I didn't really think about that kind of stuff anyway. It just, oh, hey, how you doing? I just talked to them like the normal and no big
Right.
deal. And they would actually, if I seen them, then they would respond to me as if they were a person. And that's where it really got confusing. Oh,
Oh, what happened? Oh, the aliens. Aliens.
every time we have these conversations, they get us.
Holy crap. They tried to
Man.
kick me out.
Now, what I wanted to ask you though, okay, now of course you had your first marriage because of this situation didn't go. Not that I'm talking bad about anybody, but things happen, life changes.
Yeah.
You go through life experiences, and some people go along with you, some people stay with you, most people probably don't stay with you, and you gotta go, separate ways, whatever. And nothing against anybody. I mean, that's true in life in general. When we have to make decisions about different things, when we have to go different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we just have to do that. And whether we like it, whether we agree with it, sometimes we don't agree with it, but it's better way to go. And in your case, that was your situation. So now, when you got remarried, how did you know that Brett would accept your whole situation?
Well, first of all, he's a unique individual, and I
Yeah,
do feel like I was lucky to find somebody who also is interested in things that go bump in the night. Let's just put it that way, right?
yeah,
Um, one of the things that I appreciated about him is that he was into the weirdness. He was an investigator for the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization, which, my gosh, it sounds a little out there to begin with, but I knew that he was a stable person. I knew that he had a strong career, that he was very motivated and focused and intelligent, and he was this aeronautical engineering genius, and he loved all of the mechanics and the technology behind it, and knew that there was more to it than just nuts and bolts and just our airplanes. There's something more. He's like, there's things out there that were so advanced, and that connected us because he's already in a place, in a headspace where we could talk about the potential of other things in the world, and things that we can't right now explain fully, but hopefully someday we will be able to explore more and find more answers. So we met through Charlie Raymond, who I didn't even know at the time. I had started to do some kind of interview, and I hadn't even gotten really along on that process, because I was starting to go through my divorce. So, but he kept saying, there's this guy, you need to meet him. He lives close to you. And I'm like, stalker, who the hell are you? Why do you know where I live? And, our town, Louisville, it's the biggest small town ever, right? We're all connected. We have a very large, and what I'm involved in is the Catholic community. So we have a very large Catholic community, and people know everybody. Okay. We're all connected. We're all related in some way. Right.
mhm,
So he was a newbie for me because he's from New Jersey, about 45 minutes outside of Manhattan. And so he's really this guy who's more worldly. So we connected and really just sort of hit it off with the fact that we have these experiences that we can share. You know, he's not said that he has seen a Bigfoot, but honest to God, when we started dating, he started seeing UFOs like crazy. They were just everywhere. And the thing is, when he's in the air, he's been a pilot for since he was 16, and he's 50, almost 54.
Oh, wow.
So he's been a pilot for a very, very long time. And can we get back to that question, Amy, in a second? Okay.
Sure.
So he's been a pilot for a very long time. And even though he's fairly young, he's been in the air altogether like 6 years. He has spent 6 years of his life in the air. It's obscene how many hours in the air he's been.
Wow, he got his pilot's license before I got my driver's license.
Exactly. Yes, he did. So it was a good connection, and it helped me progress because I wasn't being held back by that fear of being condemned by what was going on in my life.
Wow.
And you know, some people say, oh, well, you're just hallucinating or you're dreaming. And that may be the case for a lot of these experiencers. I'm not going to say that it is or isn't for every single person. I don't know what's going on in other people's lives. All I know is that with me, there has been some very bizarre, unexplainable events, and they have shaken me so many times, to my core. Absolutely. Just upturn my world. It's upside down. You know, I don't know which way is up sometimes. And you sort of have to just let things settle so that your brain can accept it or reject it, whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people, they reject it because it's so terrifying that you don't have the control that you think you do. And what I've wondered throughout the years is based on the fact that I started meditating and trying to figure this out on my own. I feel that I've sort of gotten to a point where I've accepted things and gotten to a point where I could say, hey, I'm open this evening. I'm fine. You can come and visit, or it's not happening. I'm shutting it down. For the most part, I can do that.
Yeah.
Not always, but for the most part.
All right.
But yeah, it's good to have somebody who's supportive rather than someone who is just completely shut down and either scared or just not having it.
That is what I try to do. You know, even though I haven't had an experience of UFOs, or as far as I know, I haven't had the experience of aliens, but who knows if I have or haven't. You know, again, that could be one of the things where they just wipe out your memory. You don't know.
Correct.
And I have had spiritual activity more than alien activity. Mm-hmm. But then again, that could be the alien activity, and it looks like spiritual to me. You know, so who knows?
It's a possibility. And it may be the way that they're presenting the experience to you, and you know, either being considerate enough to allow you to think that it's a dream or whatever. I don't know what their powers are. I don't know what their abilities are. If they have, you know, any form of telepathy and power over us, that's
it.
That's
yeah.
So Amy had a question now.
Yes, and we also want to welcome Amy and Genghis. Welcome.
Okay.
So,
hello.
What do you believe is the root cause of stigma surrounding people who report paranormal experiences? Should it be more like fear, skepticism, or what do you think?
Root cause of stigma. I would say that I could tell you that my ex-husband was probably fear. Fear that I was either losing my mind or that there was something there that he couldn't control, which is, I think, a big aspect to these experiences is a lack of control. Skepticism is absolutely involved. There's a lot of people who are, if I can't see it, it's not real. And that is okay for most people. We if we don't question things, if we don't have a bit of skepticism in daily life, then we would fall for every trick in the book. We would be the sucker on the corner.
We have to be realistic and asking the right questions, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
If that means, hey, we have to believe these things are real, that means we need to know why or what they are. Why are they harassing me? Why are they here? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I only seen one thing that I can't explain, and turns out this is something that appeared a few years or a couple of years after I seen my object that I seen way far away. I mean, I couldn't really explain it. When I first moved here, I was walking around town and I had my phone, older Galaxy, but it was a better than the old style cameras.
Gotcha. It wasn't a flip phone.
Right? No, it was a regular.
Gotcha. A smartphone.
Smartphone, and had the I guess it was the S5 or something like that, Galaxy S5, which that was when they started improving on the phone and the cameras and everything. And as I was walking around town, I took the video, looking at the sky, and I didn't even see it because of the sunlight. You couldn't see the screen, you still can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I just took whatever I was, shooting at the time. And then Andy Morrow, who is in the UK, he's looking at my video and says, "Ronald, you got something on your video." And I said, "What are you talking about?" So he showed me exactly where it was. And I knew where I was walking, what I was looking at, but I didn't see it in the video when I was shooting it. But when he showed me on the replay or the what are you talking about, the review, I saw this silver ball thing in the sky. Now it wasn't very clear because if you look where I'm at the southwestern end of Minnesota, and I was looking at the central part of Minnesota, like just north of the Minneapolis, Twin Cities area. And so in a driving time, that's about 6 or 7 hours driving. Okay. So it's up, 10,000 feet above cloud level, and it's just a silver object in a ball shape, sphere, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it was shining the light off. You could see it because it was reflecting the sunlight. Now I couldn't see it, but in the video it was showing up, and it wasn't anything that I put in there. It wasn't light flare or sun flare from the lens or whatever lens flare. It was an actual object that was there, and when you see it, you can say that's something there. But of course, being blurry, it just looks like, oh, it's just one of those blurry pictures again. So you couldn't really.
Brent calls them the flying spaghetti monsters or blob monsters, the blobs in the sky, and there's really no way for us to really take that picture. I mean, if you have, there are techniques, but I'm saying for the average person, we don't really have the skills to be able to zoom into a photograph that was taken, a video that was.
At that time, the zoom wasn't that great either. At that time, and so that was just a few years ago. The zoom wasn't that great, but then in a news article about some of the UFO things that we're talking about, they said there was a silver orb in Mexico.
Mm.
A giant silver orb that landed in Mexico out of nowhere, and it's like, could that be what I saw? After I thought about it. And highly possible, I suppose. And I think that they can change shapes. I think the UFOs can change shapes. They only present themselves to us because that's what we're comfortable with. So in other words, they show up as a flying saucer because, well, that's what they all talk about. So that's what they show up as.
So you're
Or
saying it's something that we're looking for specifically?
yeah,
We can relate to?
like for instance, a triangle. People that see triangles, that's what they're used to. That's what they understand. It might be that they're mathematically inclined to believe the triangle more than the circle, or the disc. Whereas some of us might see a disc because that's easier for us to understand. You know, that makes sense. I don't know.
It does.
So, and Amy's
I
liking your new glasses.
thank you. Yeah, the funny thing about that is you're not alone, and that's the thing that has become so obvious to me over the past 8 years that I've been doing this. It's becoming so obvious. It's in our faces now, and it's the stigma is changing. Like we were talking about, the expectations are different now. Now
Yeah,
everybody knows what a UFO is or a UAP. They understand that there's something else going on in our night skies. Or I mean, Brent even has videos of them during the day, so I can't even say nighttime. But it's a little bit easier to identify something that is moving across the sky with a light.
mhm,
It's a little bit easier to tell at night, I think.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, the videos that he's been getting have been incredible, amazing videos that I can't even begin to understand, because there just seems to be so many. These pilots are on the guard channels just chattering about it because it's so prevalent now. They're just all over the place. And I'm not talking about things like Starlink and different satellites. You could still we have apps that can identify where satellites are in the sky in real time.
yeah,
And the same thing with stars. So, between us knowing the flight paths and the satellite paths, it's becoming a little bit easier for us to identify these strange lights in the sky, the ones that are acting erratically, the ones that aren't moving like a plane would, not going in a straight line like a satellite would. It's pretty interesting. We've gotten to a point where I feel that people are waking up
yeah,
to not just the possibility, but the reality that there are other intelligent beings out there and they're interested in us. I'm not saying I'm unique. I'm saying they're interested in humanity for a reason. And I don't know the reason. But they're here, and they've been here for a long time. It's just that we are finally realizing that we're not alone. Amy says, humans and other creatures often look but do not see what is around them. Their perception is limited by their various sensory apparatus. That's yeah. Ron, are you suggesting that, like a good salesperson, UFOs are there if you want to see them?
yes, that's what I would say. I would agree with that. Yeah,
Beat me up, Scotty. Speaking of apps, I can suggest two if you're an Android user.
Oh gosh. Okay. For Androids, what do you got for us?
There's two.
Where did my pen go?
One is called Heavens Above.
Okay.
This one was suggested by a person who in Montreal who has a obsession of chasing amateur radio satellites and trying to receive them on his own radio. So that's one.
One more time, what is that called? So I can write it down.
Heavens
Sorry, I'm
Above.
behind.
Heavens Above.
Okay. I like the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What's the
then
next one?
ISS Detector Satellite Tracker.
Yep.
All right.
That's an interesting one. That one you can see when the space station is above you.
Yeah.
So
Heavens Above does as well.
Yeah.
So the 2 astronauts that got stranded up there now, they got to stay there till February.
Poor guys.
Yeah, and no telling whose fault that is, but I can only imagine.
One of my favorites, let me just give you one of my favorites. I have Star Walk, and it has music to it, and it tells you like all of the constellations, and you can watch them in real time. And it's very peaceful to just put it down, listen to their nice little music. And then if you see something, you can, just sort of take it and go with it. But so Star Walk, they have a few updates and stuff that are sort of cool.
Cool.
Since we're sharing.
Yeah. No, I like to learn new apps and things like that. But I do think that they can present their vision or their look to us any way they want, including the aliens themselves. For the longest time, of course, all we saw was the gray aliens with the big black eyes, which is kind of scary, when you think about it. What the heck are those big black eyes, or what are they for?
It's a little intimidating, yeah.
And then they don't have a mouth. They don't really talk. They're just throwing some ideas in your head. They're just talking to you that way. It's like, what are you talking about?
Do you feel that they are more like drones?
I think so, like animatronics. Have you said that?
Animatronics?
Yeah, however you say that, yeah. And they're like
soulless,
like the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I think boy that.
So, of course, these guys are a little bit more advanced, obviously, because they're thousands of years ahead of us,
Yeah.
But no, I also believe that. Okay, when you want to talk about religion ideas, and I don't mean to be preaching at anybody. I'm not a preacher, but I do believe in God. I do believe in creation. I believe in the fact that I think God can create anything He wants anywhere. Okay, He just happened to create us to made us in His will, according to what our book says that we have. That we go by, called the Bible. And so it says that we're made in His image and everything like that. And now the other ones are created by Him, but not necessarily as Him or in His image. They're created like maybe a test object, like, oh, let's see if this thing will work, and put them on a planet somewhere. Say, well, they're going along pretty good. They're getting pretty far out there. They're going from their planet to all the way to Earth. Now what?
Yeah. So
people are trying to say demons and fallen angels and all that. No, I think God can make whoever He wants to, however He wants to.
Yes.
Wherever He wants to.
Yeah. So we got 2 questions. From the things your husband has seen, does he think they are benevolent or malevolent?
Oh gosh. Good question. So he does not believe that there's any bad intention, I don't believe. So I would say probably somewhere in between, because if you are, say you're the human and you're looking at your ant farm, right? You're just sort of watching to see what they do. You're curious to see where the queen is and where the workers are going and how they're doing their business, and hoping that they're doing fine, right? You just sort of, it's a curiosity. I think that he believes it's more something like that. Like he's like, we're doing what we're supposed to do. We're creating things. Every day we're learning more. We're using more technology as we grow. And, we're just being sort of monitored. And I believe that too. I believe that we are being monitored. when it comes to religion, I sort of feel like we have been spoon-fed this idea that that there's an eternal plan and we have this soul that we're connected to God. But then again, you have these other beings who, I mean, I assume that they were created by someone else. So why wouldn't it be the, God as well? It makes me, I'm cautious about saying that because not everybody believes. So maybe that's a tough call.
I mean, look at the human. Of course, we're all human, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All us Earthlings and Earthlings, even we're all human, and so, but there's many different shapes and sizes of humans.
Correct. And very tons of different perspectives. There's different intentions. There's the caste system, which is still prevalent. We don't think that we're in, ancient times where there was kings and slaves and workers and all the stuff that had no rights. But we still live in a time where there still are slaves. There are, really bad things still going on that have not been stopped. They've continued for thousands and thousands a year. It's almost like
Amy
they're watching, but what's the intent? Are they trying to control it or not?
Yeah, so 3 questions. It'll be interesting to hear everyone's opinion why ET starbirds are here on Earth and what they want. That's actually just a comment.
It would be interesting to hear everyone's opinion on why.
Okay. I misunderstood as a question.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you see through their eyes of others? Do you ever see through the eyes of others?
Would that be like remote viewing? I don't know.
That's actually a good question, and it really sort of triggered me.
The seeing through eyes.
Yeah. I would say I personally have had some experiences where that actually would fit the situation. And the way that you said remote viewing, that may apply as well. For example,
I think there's different forms of remote viewing, by the way.
Well, there's some that are intentional and some that aren't. I've had a lot of experiences where it's not intentional. It just sort of occurs. And I'm not sure why that happens. I'm as I get older, I try more techniques and try to learn about it, but I'm still learning, Everything that happens to me is sort of like an aha moment. And I think that if we get to a point where we know everything, life is over. We're done. I really don't think that we could get to that point, but
we have to move on to the next level. So we're not
right. Maybe, yeah.
And that's scary.
There's one example that I do have. I was asleep, and then I popped into this place, and I knew I was taken someplace. It was very strange. It was like almost like an underground cavern, but it has the strangest lighting that I'd ever seen. It was almost like these glowing orbs that went along this corridor, and the corridors were cut into the rock, whatever the rock was. I don't know if it was, I have no idea what kind of rock it was. But the hallways had sort of this circular shape, like it had been purposely etched into these like caves. They were very, very circular and very precise all the way through. But for some reason, I could see around the wall, which doesn't seem possible. It was like a hallway that went sort of circular, like in a circular direction and like winding through, but I could see around it. And so I don't know what that is. And I don't know how that works, but I was thinking about it and like projecting my mind through it so that I can see. And that was a unique experience because I hadn't experienced anything like that before. So it sort of shook me up. And I realized that I was laying on a table while I was doing this and I couldn't move. And so I'm like, this is even stranger than I've ever experienced before. And I look up and there was this very tall, skinny, triangular shaped, big black eyes being standing there over me. And to me, like telepathically, I heard in my head, you're not supposed to be awake. And I was just like, oh shit, man, you're right. I'm probably not. And he was just like, that's it. Go, back to sleep. And I was immediately gone and back in my bed. And I'm like, what the hell was that? So I don't know. Let's see. Amy says CRV is not what we're talking about. Oh,
okay. I don't know. We were
whatever that is.
But so a lot of people that I've talked to about being abducted or having an experience, they always wind up on the table.
Yeah.
In the craft or in the whatever room it is,
Not always.
But I mean that's what they say. It's always a table.
Oh.
That's a general story I get.
Maybe it's the recurring theme that everybody can connect to.
Yeah, maybe. And again, that's that you see a spacecraft. That's what they're trying to sell you. You want to buy a flying saucer? We got a nice shiny one right here. Come on. Now here's a good question for you. And I asked this question before now. All right, now I asked this question when I was driving down the road, and I just thought it would be fun to ask this question. If you had an alien and Bigfoot come up to you at your house, and they were real, this wasn't a dream, this would be an actual physical entity that came up to talk to you, and they're, however they were talking to you, mental or vocal or whatever, but they each asked you, would you like to go with one of us? Either go with me in my spaceship or go with me into the jungle. Which one would you choose?
God, Ron, that's a really good one. Holy crap. I've never been asked that before. Okay.
And you didn't have to explain yourself. You just had to answer their question. And then, I mean, they would leave if you didn't answer, but I mean, the whole point of the fun is to answer which one would you be attracted to?
Gosh. If that happened, I would honestly think that I was dreaming about like Star Wars and Chewbacca and some weird alien was there.
You'd have your pad out. You have your pad out for the autograph, right? Hey, can you sign this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What about joining Imperial forces since Star Wars got to be in the picture?
Oh yeah. I would have to say that I would like to go with the aliens, I guess. Just because there's I think that there's a lot to learn. There's so many planets and solar systems and everything out there that if they have more knowledge about those and other civilizations, I think that would be worth a visit.
And the safety of yourself would be paramount, of course. You'd be safe on the flight. You wouldn't have to worry about dying. You wouldn't have to worry about getting old. You wouldn't have to
worry about that. I think I would just take the trip.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I've gotten to a point where I've already accepted that fact.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't be, I'm not coming from a state of fear anymore. The fear has been eradicated to mostly. I mean, I'm sure that they could probably scare the shit out of me if they chose to. But I've gotten to a point where I think I accept the reality and Yes, the controlled remote viewing is a process. Yes.
All right, so now she had another statement just above that one, yeah.
Circular vision. This could be a sense of perception using echolocation, but the being perceives it as a vision.
Interesting.
Ooh.
I like that.
Oh, that reminds me of The Descent with the Hadals. Do you know what the Hadals are? The Homo hadalis, which was like this subterranean part of humanity.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that my next goal is to practice controlled remote viewing.
All right. Well, we can probably work on that, you know. I mean, just trying to exercise that and work together as a community, you know,
Yeah.
just trying to see if we can even do it. I'm working with Dead Air. I don't know if you know who they are, Ken and George, on Dead Air with KGRA. And anyway, they have a show, and sometimes they have experiments that they do, and they set up a location where we're supposed to remote view, and then we have a talk about what we've seen, you know, whatever. Now, each person might actually have a different location, but you might actually still see what you're looking at.
Well, you know, I mean, the CIA absolutely, you know, practiced this along with the Nazis. This is not something new. This is a technique that has been very well studied on humans. So I'm there. I believe it. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'd be willing to give it a try and take it seriously. Do it seriously.
Sorry, I apologize.
No,
I'm in host mode rather than guest mode.
No, well, you are a host, and you can play that role here.
So, you know Micah Hanks, the Gralien Report, Micah Hanks show. I think it's Sasquatch Tracks.
I liked him when he was on your weekend that you had.
He's fantastic. So we did a project. He and I think a lot alike. And so I did this little experiment where I was in my house and he was in his home in Asheville, North Carolina. And I said, okay, I have this, and this that we're going to try to focus on. I said, number one, I made a sandwich for my daughter. What was it? And he thought about it, and I was looking at it, and I was concentrating on it. And he said, it's a grilled cheese. And I said, yes. And I said, but the hard part is, what kind of cheese is it? And he thought about it. And I was looking at the name. I was looking at the name of the cheese. And he said, what would you think, Ron? Grilled cheese. What would you think? What kind of cheese would you think?
I would say American.
Okay.
Like the orange American.
Okay. And then Bobby, what kind of cheese do you think you would use for grilled cheese?
I would go with American.
Okay. So it was Munster.
What the heck?
Munster. And he said Munster. And it was absolutely just focused concentration. And I mean, very few people would have popped that.
No, what is that? Is that like what do they say? Pepper jack?
No, it's a white cheese that's very, very mild, but it melts really well, almost like a mozzarella on your pizza.
You know what's odd is that I went against believe it or not, I went against my original thought.
What was your original thought?
White American.
Okay, so you would have been closer to the actual cheese. That's awesome.
But then I went with what I have in my fridge, which is the orange. You know, I thought, well, you know, so I went with what I have in my fridge, not with what I actually thought.
Right.
But my original thought was like, when I go to Subway, they have the white American, you know, and so I get that on there, and then I get like the shredded cheese because I like the orange color. So I get the shredded cheese, and that looks really good too, by the way. If you go to Subway and you get like a steak and cheese, and you get the white American slices, and you get the shredded cheese on top of it, and it melts. It just looks amazing.
I love that. That sounds fantastic. Try Munster, though. I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
All right, I'll try it.
So this one, let's see. Amy says, suggestion: try the psychic remote viewing. Let's see, pre-prime the mind with target material pre-sleep and use the beginning and ending hypnagogic bookends. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back with you on that one.
How can we do that? You mean like we have an envelope with an item like a picture or a number or something like that in it, or what?
Bobby, can you put that back up again, please? Okay, psychic remote viewing. Pre-prime the mind with target material sleep and use the beginning and ending. Okay, I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna contact Amy, and we're gonna work on this together.
See, what's interesting is I did a reading for somebody the other day.
And how was it? Was it pretty accurate?
I do tarot card readings, as you know, and the interesting thing is the card that I had in my hand. There's no way that she could see it. But she told me what the card was before I told her. And like, wait a minute, how'd you do that?
I like when that happens.
I mean, it was fine. Yeah, it was fine. It was just kind of weird that happened. And and it was a message that we all needed, and we had to go with it, you know. But the point is, they saw the card before I told them, and I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
My gosh.
Because there was no way that they could have seen it, except like what you were talking about, looking through somebody's eyes, you know.
Right.
You know, maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not saying. I don't know if I work that way. I don't know. I don't know if that's an invasion of one's privacy. You know, if somebody has some rules about that, you know, like, you know, on Star Trek where they're saying the Betazoids, you know, you have to have certain rules. You can't be breaking into people's minds without their permission, you know. That's the way that is, you know. And so I think that's the way it should be. But who knows if anybody follows that rule for real. You know?
I think what I've learned is that I have to set my intentions and my limitations. And it does have it's a skill. I think it's something that has to be practiced and repeated over and over again, because otherwise at different points I felt like I was like an antenna, like it was just overwhelming and I couldn't really block it out or focus on just getting rest. So that was very difficult, but over time I think that I've been able to do that better, and it has helped me in tremendous ways. You know, it's gotten me to a point where I am not fearful. I'm not I don't feel like I've been harassed. I feel like I've had experiences that were amazing, and I just take it as, you know, good experiences or bad experiences, but things to learn from.
I think it would be fun with someone on your level, where we're not a necessarily highly experienced in the remote viewing area. So it would be something nice to try.
Yeah.
An experiment with after we learn some of the processes of how to do it, and do it sincerely, whether it be reading a card in my hand or telling me what I have in my, you know, what I'm holding on. You know, nothing weird. No, I'm just, you know, like if I have a pencil in my hand, you tell me, oh, you got a pencil in your hand, or you got a, you know, whatever, a card in my hand or a bottle in my hand, whatever it is that I might have, you know, and then you can tell me what it is, you know, again, respectfully, nothing weird.
Right.
So you'd say, okay, you have whatever, or if you have an envelope with a number on it, you know, and you say, okay, there's a number, whatever, in the envelope. And so if we could do something like that, have a group session where we could, you know, casually, we don't have to make it anything big.
Are you about CIA to be controlling this process?
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. But that's all right. They're gonna find some
I
weird.
always wonder if there's something nefarious going on, like if we are being monitored when we have these experiences, and that's probably the most intimidating aspect, because my waking brain is a little bit more cautious. We are, we're different when we're fully functioning and awake than we are when we're in bed and going to sleep. We are very, very vulnerable. And that's why I keep saying you got to put up your boundaries, and that's a process. That's a learning process.
Yeah. But if you wanted to try that, and even Brent can join in on the fun, he can be part of the experiment as well. And just so that we have a family affair, so to speak.
That sounds great.
And then that way nobody's asking, what are you guys doing all this time? You're spending so much time together.
Yeah. Kevin is my buddy. He always says, I'm so glad that Brent shares you with me, because that's our time to just sort of explore the world and listen to other people's ideas and theories. And it's not only educational, we do learn a lot, but it is something that I need in my life. There's a piece of me that has to continue learning about this topic, because I know that it's pertinent. It is very pertinent, and it's
I think
it's something that I can't get away from. It's something that my family is involved in, and I just know I'm not alone.
Well, see, what's nice about the remote viewing, what that's going to teach us, all right, what that will help teach us, I think, if we actually practice it and polish it, is I think that what it will teach us is communication process.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
And so, like when the aliens do come to us and want to talk to us, like you said, we don't have to be afraid of it. We just say,
right. The idea of remote viewing is very cool, because there's no limitation on how to communicate and how far and who it is, or the potential is astronomical.
Of course, like you said, have boundaries, be respectful about it.
Right.
You don't want to go, like, if you're taking a shower, you're not going to go remote view somebody when they're.
Well, you might drop in on somebody doing that, but honestly, that is it's a human experience. We do it every day.
You know what I mean, though.
I do.
There's a level of respect that we must have rules about in order to keep safe. In order to keep.
Well, you don't want to drop in on somebody and find out that they've got an extra girlfriend somewhere.
Yeah, we don't know what. But now what I really want to experience is do a remote view of, even just my house. Which I've done. I've done that before. But I would like to learn about other locations, as well. And it can be, like you said, distance-wise, And I'm not talking about being nosy, but I'm asking about experiencing the ability to remote view. Now,
can you imagine what you could do with that, though? Think about being able to focus and go to, possibly back in time or into the future. Think about that. The idea.
We don't know that. Yeah.
Of visiting possibly Atlantis, or just lost civilizations throughout time.
To understand things more.
Yeah.
Now I believe, not to go off this remote viewing, but you know what astroplaning is, right? Astroplane. Okay. Now I believe that when we go to sleep at night, and people can deny it or whatever they want, I seriously believe that we all travel when we go to sleep. Okay? Now, some of us probably don't remember. I might not remember every time I go anywhere. But I know for a fact that I've been on this planet that I don't understand.
Oh, I've been there too, buddy. I've been having a lot of those lately.
I
Do you have a job?
went to this planet that was made of pure amethyst crystal. Okay. And it had crystal pieces shooting out from the ground, and the whole thing was clear. And it had two suns on it. Well, it was a planet with two suns. Okay. And the light was shining through it was amazing, beautiful, purple and all kinds of, whatever color you want to think about. And then I was with a guide, and I saw on this planet, I saw two people across the way that I knew, but like always, I don't remember everybody's name. I remember your name, of course, but some places, like in town, I'll see somebody else say, "Hey, how you doing?" I don't know their name. I just say, "Hey, how you doing?" Like I know them, but I don't remember their name. And so then on this planet, though, I knew these two people. They waved at me. I waved at them. I knew them. It was friendly, not scary, and all that. And then the guide that I was with said, "Touch that crystal." I'm thinking, should I? Yes, touch it. So I touched it, and then I woke up when I touched it. That was my way back. But the point of it is that I think we all travel like that to different places. And if we remember it, that's one of the ones I remember. So if we remember it, just imagine what we could do if we're practicing remote viewing, how we can communicate with people, how we can help people, how we can remote view a location that we're going to go investigate and look inside before we go inside. Okay.
I think that you're on the right track, but when you talk about how this place looked really amazing and crazy and foreign, and it had all these crystals and stuff like that, the amethyst, there are places on Earth like that. Like I was just looking it up because there's this massive crystal cavern in Mexico. It's in Chihuahua. And it is a lead, zinc, and silver mine, and it's the world's largest silver producer. But the caverns are just massive, gigantic crystals that are 50 feet high. I mean, massive crystals, selenite and stuff. And you're just like, how is that possible? Now, you can't stay in there very long because there's noxious gases and it's hot and there's all these things. But think about that. If we have places on Earth like that, why couldn't there be places of amethyst and other stuff? Because those are natural, they're minerals. Yeah. So it doesn't sound too outlandish to me.
All right. So how would we proceed then with this remote viewing? I would like to try that with you on a curiosity level, not a professional level. I mean, we're going to keep professional, obviously, but I mean, you know what I mean. We're not trained professionals of any kind, and we're not trying to push anything with anything. We're just trying to get some interesting experience or possibility of understanding more of what we're looking at.
We can do it. It's just we just need to set up a time.
Yeah, and
I would do it.
We can set up. I don't know how your Saturdays are. And, every day is Saturday to me, so I don't really have anything going on. But we could try something like take an hour, Bobby, and you can join in, Bobby, if you're not at church or if you're available. And we can all join in on this and try to figure out what we can do on that. Pick an item that we want to target, and then go from there. You're going to have your item, I'll have my item that I have, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds awesome. Yes, sign me up.
Right. But all right, so we're going to do a unofficial experiment with remote viewing, and if we have any kind of luck with it, then we're going to be good.
So Ron, Amy just said, what if perhaps the crystal planet is a galactic portal. Just letting the mind roam.
Well, I'm hoping
I like
that
to try to mine a diamond planet.
as long as I came back where I'm supposed to be, I'm fine with that.
I mean, crystal does hold so much information. I mean, we can have little bitty, teeny, tiny pieces of crystal that have tons of information. I mean, you think about the cell phone and the technology behind that is just, it's got to be extraterrestrial. I can't imagine that we can create these little bitty chips and have all the data on there. It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess I'm just not very intelligent. We'll just put it that way.
Now, crystal in itself, especially amethyst, the amethyst crystal is designed for peace. Okay, it's designed for peaceful and keep you stabilized and centered and grounded, basically. And so,
how did you feel when you were there?
Very peaceful and not afraid at all. But kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? I'm supposed to be asleep in my chair. I sleep in my recliner because I can't lay down flat on the bed.
Aww.
And
I hope your recliner is very comfy, though.
Yeah, there's a few reasons why I can't lay down on the bed. If I could, I can go into that story.
Do you have sciatica?
No. I have tinnitus or tinnitus in my ears.
Oh gosh!
You
need to get those crystals moved. They'll shake your head around.
When I lay down flat, then the whole room is spinning like I'm drunk, and I'm not really drunk.
Yeah, you get vertigo.
And so I have to sit up or sit at a 40, at an angle, and have my legs up, on the recliner. And
I'll tell you something afterwards. I'll send you a text about that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, what happened with me in high school? I told the story before. It's kind of a long story, but it's needed for right now. You know what sleep paralysis is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you described some of it that happened to you on your experiences. In this case here, what happened was I had the nerve as a teenager when a preacher's son asked me to go to the youth group, church group, right? I said, F no, I'm not going to do that. That's just a bunch of useless, crazy talk, a bunch of Christians talking goofy stuff, and here I'm talking about witchcraft and things like that at the time, and I was just totally opposite of what the preacher's son was. But anyway, I knew I had abilities and gifts, but were they really mine, or was I getting them from someone else or something else, meaning the evil side of things. And so anyway, what happened was I challenged God. I have the nerve to challenge God.
Oh,
right?
That's interesting.
And here I am, a 15-year-old, or I guess I was 18 when I got saved, actually. But so I'm like 16 or 17 years old, something like that. A year, I said, God, I tell you what, if you can prove to me who Jesus Christ, your son, is within a year, then I'll accept him as my Savior.
I don't think anybody should challenge.
Well, I thought
ultimate creator.
I thought I had the balls, and I thought I was tough, and of course
that's a good way to get your balls cut off real quick.
So anyway, what happened was that's about what happened. But anyway, what happened was megalithic sites are built with.
Yeah, she was talking about the crystal cataract in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what happened was the year came up. Now I've been going to like Wednesday night youth group, and things like that and all that. And then the year came up, I think to the day probably. Hey, Greg O'Brien. And the interesting thing is, it was like 2:30 or so in the morning. And what the hell am I doing? Anyway, what happened was I was on my back. Now I'm in California, all right? So California summertime, you got your window open. It's hot, not cool at all. The air isn't on. We didn't really have central air like we do today. You had windows open, and
I used to
some
love having the windows open, and now it's like, ugh,
you don't want to have no windows
too
open
damn
now.
hot. It's too humid here. It's like a rainforest.
Yeah, this was in California though, and so
Okay.
it was fine. And anyway, a cold air come across my shoulders. I didn't have a t-shirt on, and cold air come across the shoulders and gave me the chills. You know how you feel sometimes. And now, me dealing with some evil, negative witchcraft stuff, and I was working on some ideas and things, and I knew how to perceive and be receptive of that, and I knew how to read it and knew exactly what it was. So anyway, I felt this cold chill in my shoulders, and I laid there, and then all of a sudden something grabbed me by my ankles and turned me over. I was on my stomach at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I was turned over like a rotisserie, and I had no power, no way to fight it, nothing.
Oh
And
gosh,
then
that would be terrifying.
I'm laying there on my back, and all I could do is move my eyes. I couldn't move my head. I couldn't move my arms, nothing. I was paralyzed in the bed. Now, what was interesting was I thought I was screaming at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I thought I was screaming. Apparently, I wasn't screaming. Nobody was there, or nobody heard me. But anyway, what happened was I saw this dark shadow come into the room. In the corner, he said, "Come on, let's go. I'm ready to take you." And that was Lucifer, or Satan, if you will.
Oh gosh.
And he said, "I'm ready to take you. You made that deal. It's been a year. You're not receiving Christ yet, so you got to come with me." And then another spirit came into the room, and I perceived him to be Christ, of course, which he's proving to me who he is, right? So he comes into the room and he says, "No, he's not going with you. He's staying here with me. He's mine." And then now remember, I'm hearing this, at least in my mind, I'm hearing this, I'm seeing these characters, and I can't move. And I think I'm screaming like, "What the fuck is going on?" 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm scared, but at the same time, I'm more like, what is going on? I don't get it. I want to know, but at the same time, I don't want to ask. It's one of those things. And so anyway, finally, Satan decides to leave because, well, Jesus, of course, is supreme, right? So Satan leaves, and then Jesus tells me, he says, "You go back to sleep now." And it's like, how am I going to go back to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning after that episode?
Yeah.
And I have to get up and go to the bathroom, right? The bathroom's across the hall, but I can't even move. I can barely move, and I got to get up and crawl across the hallway to the bathroom. Finally, get to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. After I climb up on the toilet, go to, you know what I mean? I couldn't really stand up or nothing. And so anyway, I finally get all that done, finally able to walk back to the bedroom and lay down. And like, of course, I couldn't sleep the rest of the day. And then for several years, I never even thought about this. Now, the next Wednesday youth group meeting, I did go through the salvation process with the youth group pastor. Jesus proved who he was, obviously, right?
Right.
So I did make that, I did honor that deal. And I put away the black magic. I didn't use that afterwards. Although we all still have powers that we use, and Christians and the faith teachers say you shouldn't use them. They're evil or whatever. And I think we're all spiritual. And we all have powers to use, and they're given to us for a reason. And that's what I think this remote viewing is about. That we need to exercise it. We need to practice it. That way we're.
Oh, he froze on that.
Oh wow. Well,
we're having a few glitches during important moments.
Yep, I think it's the Democrats trying to get the best of him.
You know what's crazy about that is that the idea that someone is fighting over your eternal soul, the darkness being overcome by the light, and feeling that amount of, I guess, probably joy that you're not being taken down to eternal damnation. But it's really interesting to hear his side of that. So
yeah. And I just want to say, before he got onto all this religious mumbo jumbo, as some people would say, is the fact that if hot and humid is going to make you more torturous, you better bless the rains, because right now it's like, I think we went was just in the 80s, and now it's going to the lower 70s tonight.
Oof. 70s
Yeah.
are nice. I prefer that. Between 70 and 78. 78, because I have a lot of humidity here. So if it's in the 80s here, oh my gosh, it was actually 98 degrees the other day with, it was probably 95% humidity. It felt like we were boiling alive.
Oh my
And
God.
it said it was, I think the hottest that it actually got to was like 99, but it felt like 106. It's just miserable. I don't want to burn alive. Let's say that. I'd rather go someplace where I'm not going to burn alive. So the idea of eternal damnation has always scared me.
Yeah, Louisiana here around Labor Day weekend is going to be, sometimes it's going to get wet, muggy, and all that other stuff.
Where are you, Bobby?
I'm in Louisiana.
Oh man, you've got humidity too then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Sometimes when the sun's about ready to bust out of the clouds and it was just raining, it jacks it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can hardly breathe.
Oh my
Awful.
gosh.
Greg O'Brien says, I was in heaven. I was in hell. Believe in either, but fear them as well. Oh, I like that. What is that from?
Yeah. That's
Bobby's occasion.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're in Louisiana.
That's right. Do you eat mud bugs?
Mostly catfish.
Mostly catfish.
My mother was not an alligator person.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had alligator. I liked it, but we deep fried it. It's like alligator nuggets instead of chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of hot sauce.
I don't know, maybe I should try alligator. I mean,
you're in the right area.
I wasn't too big with shrimp or anything else.
What about crawdads, crawfish?
Nah, I'd never tried it.
Never tried it?
Nah, it's just something that is not in my DNA whenever I was growing up.
Yeah. You need me to cook for you. I'll get you some good recipes.
Yeah.
Amy says, what if your soul is just another form of food for something? Is that the argument? Is that good and evil are fighting for our soul? It feeds them. They grow bigger, stronger, more powerful. Yeah. With everyone. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh, blue crab. That sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing that we're not allowed to eat on this network is octopus.
Oh my gosh! What about the kraken?
Oh yes, no. In this physicality that humans perceive, everything is food for something else.
We'll be sharks then. We'll be sharks.
Yes. So I wonder what happened with
Yeah, let me see if I can get him on the line or something. Hang on.
Is he coming through?
Do a company skip. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I guess I'm hosting the show tonight. So, when it comes to, okay, let's see what this says. Let's look through a few of the comments. So we'll go back to this one because this was pretty interesting. Oh, I'm not allowed to pull it in because I'm not really the host. Amy says, they say that some of the world's megalithic sites are built with high crystalline granite. And I thought that that was a really good because it may be a source of some power that would be used throughout the universe.
Sorry.
What?
Think about how much data it can hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now, okay, so we're both back.
My fabulous high-speed dial-up internet. See, now we're right in the middle of a good conversation, right?
No.
Bam!
It's
So anyway,
all right.
as I was saying, what I was trying to say is, anyway, I did went through the salvation process and all that. But as I was thinking about throughout, it wasn't until several years later, maybe when I moved up to Brooklyn Center, I was thinking about, wait a minute now, if I was screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning and nobody heard me, because I asked my sister and I asked my brother, I was in the middle room and they're each on the end room, and you would think somebody would hear me at 3 o'clock in the morning if I'm screaming, right?
Right.
So that wasn't the case, though. Nobody heard me. And then I got to thinking, I didn't ask mom and dad about that because, again, you don't talk about that stuff, right? And this was in July of '79 when this occurred. So you still don't talk about that kind of stuff at that point, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody knew I was using the black magic book or anything like that. You know, I was just kind of way out there anyway. But anyway, in the case of what was happening, I got to thinking about what if they were all taken to the UFO and I didn't go because I was fighting them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, they got abducted. I'm screaming and nobody's there to hear me scream, just myself, right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they come back, nobody has any memory of anything. Of course, you don't talk about that, so you can't really ask a direct question about it because, you know, they'd be too afraid to admit to it. And of course, it would just be something you don't talk about. Then I got mental issues if I'm talking about that sort of thing, you know. So, yeah, so I was thinking that maybe they were abducted. And I just put up such a fight that they couldn't take me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now the other thing was with the religious aspect of who I thought I saw. That's because of my challenge that I gave to God. He allowed me to see that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes any sense. Now,
Yes.
I don't know if that's real or if that's really what happened or if it's just my own imagination. My light just went out, so don't worry about that. But
Yeah. I just gotta say one thing to say about his internet. If you're ever to come right here where I'm at in Louisiana, do not get AT&T.
Is it the worst?
It is the worst.
oh,
You
boy.
want to go with either with cable or you can get something called 5G home internet.
Nice.
Okay. Oh yeah, and yeah, I have Gig Fire, which used to be LTD, and they claim they're doing better now, but I don't know. Just with this different storm seasons, we have, you know, it's radio waves, so you know, if storm comes along and it's gonna knock it out. So anyway, so just imagine how that would work. Now, think about if we've been seriously taking the remote viewing into question and learning all about that. The spirits, whoever they were, if it was Satan and Jesus Christ, and they were trying to communicate with me, I would have had no trouble getting that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would have understood that a lot better. And actually, at that time, I was working with the idea of telepathy. Anyway, you know, so I could use telepathy, and I was able to use it distance-wise across town. You know, I don't know if you heard me cussing when the internet went out.
No, we didn't.
No, I think if you were going to become the Incredible Hulk, it's going to be game over. Because look, you will be destroying your keyboard, destroying the monitor, destroying everything in plain sight. Probably paid the crap out of Jeffers.
Ron mad. Bam, bam, bam.
Bobby is the only one that keeps me in line when the computer goes bad. I couldn't get this headphone and microphone to work with the sound card that I have in the system, and Bobby kept telling me, "You just got to go check through the settings," and that's what I did finally, and got it to work. So, and
because of the Bluetooth configurations, it's multi-profile.
Yeah.
So whenever we come back here, it's routed to the communications channel. But let's say if I go ahead and play a promo, it's going to route to the multimedia channel and stay on that multimedia channel. It won't go back to the communications channel.
Yeah.
So wired is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. So,
wired or USB?
Yeah, I had a hard time figuring that one out, but I got it done finally.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I go upstairs and grab my deck of cards?
Go ahead. I was going to do a reading for you too. So
okay. All right. Okay. I will get a few different decks and give you options. Okay.
All right. Good deal.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. All right. So I guess while we wait for the lovely Tiffany to come back.
Yeah. Sorry about that internet connection issue. I can't help that. That happened. I wanted to get her. I wanted to do her reading first, and then we could do others if that's all right with everybody. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun though, Bobby, except for when I lost my connection.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened. I do have some storms in the area. That could have been the problem.
Now, sadly, when you was my age, you never played any of like Rampage or something, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never had an Atari or a Nintendo.
I know what they are. We never had them. My dad didn't want to spend money on that stuff, so we didn't get them.
Yeah. I think the last one that I ever owned was a 64.
Yeah. I mean, I know what all that is.
I never went any further.
Yeah. I used to my friends would have the Atari game system 2600 or 5600, whatever that was.
Yeah. That's what my mother used to have as well.
Yeah. It's a classic one now. If you have something like that, it could be worth some money.
Yeah. It's just like the evolution of graphics is so crazy. I'm just going to look through the comments. Repost them. Oh wow, he did he just grew up and yeah, all because he had a bad deck cut. I just had to reset my gateway the other day.
Oh, okay.
Because it kept cutting out.
Well, at least it did come back pretty quick. And yeah. So now, so everybody else in chat can actually understand what I'm doing here. When I do the card readings, I don't just do card readings. All right. I do believe in Jesus Christ. I do believe in God. I do believe in the Holy Spirit. I don't believe in taking away any power from anybody, especially after that episode when I got saved.
Oh no,
But
that's
so in my viewpoint, what I do when I do a reading, I ask the Holy Spirit to give me the message for the person I'm reading for, and in that way, I'm allowing God's message to get through.
all right. Now I want to go on ahead and do the factory, just some simple factory readings while we're waiting on. Belay that now.
So, hey, Tiffany, I was going to tell you. All right, now you're ready. Okay, yeah. I was going to tell you.
I'm a little laggy for some reason, but I'm here.
It's probably my end.
Yeah.
On the idea of the card readings, like I said, my brother. It's funny. I was telling him about my card readings, and he says, those are evil. And I said, no, they're not. They're all my cards have nice pictures on them, and they're pleasant messages. What could be evil about that, right? And so that's what I told him. I said, they're just cards with pictures on them. They tell a story. That's all. The only evil is like in the person's mind that you're doing readings.
True.
But the card reading situation isn't really evil. I think when they talk about divination in the Bible, or like the Old Testament, no divination be named among you, like that. What I think, okay, now correct me if I'm wrong. In the Old Testament times, divination was used with animal blood, sacrificing of an animal, or some kind of thing like that, right?
I mean,
So
I'm sure
a lot of it was.
I'm sure that was done.
A lot
I don't
of it
know
was
if that was a
used.
normal practice, but
Well, what we're doing, I don't think, is anywhere near the power of divination. Like if I use a pendulum, that's divination, yes, but not the same level as what you're talking about. In the sense of the Old Testament, where you use an animal part and whatever.
right.
Here,
let me get out and come back in. Can I do that?
Yeah.
And Bobby, you'll let me back in?
Yeah, I'll let you back in.
Okay, hold on.
All right. So, yep. Well. So,
all right. So, all right. She'll be right back. Hey, Blackie, what's going on, Blackie?
Yep. Oh my gosh! We didn't catch it on belay that now.
All right. So, Tiffany, what I was telling everybody else earlier is that when I do a card reading, I ask the Holy Spirit to give me the message for you.
Right.
Okay. And
so you have a positive intention to begin with.
And that way I don't, come up with a negative intention. I don't try to take control of the message. I don't try to use whatever item I'm using for that usage. I try to use the Holy Spirit as my conduit to share the message. So that way if he has a message for you, guess what? It comes directly from the Holy Spirit, not from me. And so some people were asking me today, well, I think you were picking those cards just to make them look good when I show the pictures of some cards. I said, no, I was actually, I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
No sense in reading if you're going to do that kind of thing. But here's I got your cards already done. So that's what I was kind of doing as you were waiting. And I'm using, let me show you the ones I'm using. I'm using
Sword of Light, the Archangel Michael Oracle. Okay. Sword of Light Oracle. Okay.
So that's a guidebook, which I don't even use guidebooks. But anyway, that's the name of the cards. And they have some really nice pictures on them. Here's the first one I got for you.
Love it. Open up to your spiritual gifts. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul growth. Love that. I love it. Yeah.
That one actually popped out when I was shuffling, so that's her first card. And these other ones, same thing, that kind of popped up and showed up.
Take control of your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating your reality. Have faith and stay focused on the outcome that you truly desire. I love that, and I appreciate that, and I think that he's dead on.
It's right on what we were just talking about, the remote
Dead on.
and exercising your thoughts, right?
Yes, dead
We were
on.
just talking about that. Now what I'm going to do, after I get this to you, we're going to take a picture of it for you. I like to take pictures of them.
Oh, that's beautiful. So that
And,
says...
I'm trying to get it focused, sorry.
Okay, scoot it back just a little bit. And still can't read it. Hold on. There you go. Someone new is coming. An important new relationship is on the horizon. Open your mind and heart to that happiness, or so that happiness can enter your life. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So
it's something that
a new friend, a new,
yeah,
maybe someone that will help guide us in life.
Connection, yeah, a connection. Yeah. Just be on the lookout for it, and be aware of it and be alert to it. Somebody might be trying to use you as well. You know what I mean? So be careful.
I don't think that'll happen. I think my husband would probably take it out.
No, but yeah, just make sure that
like he takes out the garbage.
Right. But yeah, just be aware of it, that if somebody does try to come around and want to get to know, that's the message for you. They're trying to connect with you on a decent level.
There you go. That sounds good. More of a spiritual level, do you think, or physical?
Could be a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Just be ready.
Both worlds.
Yeah, be ready, and be aware of it. Be alert. Stay alert, and kind of grow with it, or go with it, if you will.
All right. So now it's Tiffany's turn, huh?
That was
okay.
Tiffany. Oh wait, that was We're trying to read.
All right. So I have these cards, and I can't remember if they're called. I think they're called Fantastic Beasts. So I've got all of these. Let me do this.
All right, I'm going to figure out how to send this to you on Messenger. That's right. I have you on Messenger.
So I actually brought down some crystals. I just had a pack of these.
Oh, wonderful.
I had this little special bag, and I had, let me show you what's inside. Crystal skull, chakra. Well, let's see if we can get it focused.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and try to get it out from the background as well.
I know, right? Here, maybe I can put it right over my face. And then this one, here's your amethyst, Ron.
I like that, yeah.
Amethyst, and look at the shape of the other crystal inside of it, the lighter crystal and the darker purple.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then I
what
got
do you feel when you get that? When you have that in your hand, what do you feel?
What do I feel?
Yeah.
Total peace.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like the amethyst. This one, I lost it.
Oh no.
Along with my brain. My brain is fried, and I lost my crystal. Anyway, it's down there somewhere. But look at this one. And I think about this as like a sign of fertility, because the egg is the beginning, right? But isn't it beautiful? And it reminds me of just like this embryo inside of something so beautiful, and how they grow. It looks like blood inside too. So I think of that as being a sign of life. But anyways, that's what I have. So do we want to do Ron, or do we want to do Bobby? I think we did Ron last time.
Do Bobby first.
Okay, hit me.
You ready?
So, I had a story to tell you about I had you know what a Native American teardrop is? Black obsidian.
Oh.
And in the Native American world, it's in the shape of a teardrop, right? and they were created to remember the terrible uh, war situation where the tribe actually rode their horses off the cliff and died, right? So anyway, somebody created the Native American teardrops. At least that's the story I get, anyway. And anyway, I had these two. I had one on the necklace, which I have somewhere, but I had one in my pocket, which fell out of my pocket. I didn't know where it went. I knew I lost it. I just knew I lost it. But I use it for protection.
Yes,
In
that's
my
a
pocket.
good stone for protection, the
And
obsidian.
so I have it for protection. And what happened was it fell out of my pocket. I don't know where it went. For many months, I was looking for it, kept looking for it, kept looking for it, couldn't find it. And then I moved my chair one time, and there it is on the floor. And it was right there all the time. Or, yeah, see?
Mine was right there on the floor.
Yeah, you can't
Gosh,
use,
right in front of your face.
It
Not
happened
using-
just like that. You know what? This was meant to
but
happen
you knew
tonight.
you knew it dropped though. You knew it dropped. I didn't know mine dropped out of the pocket, and so it was like, where did it go? And I kept looking for it, and I just knew I lost it, and I just gave it up to the air, to the universe. I just said, well, somebody finds it, then they can use it, and they need it more than I do. So I
That's
just
funny.
figured out that way, and then it came back to me, and it's laying right there on the floor. And then I put it in the coffee cup on the table, so it's staying right there in that coffee cup.
Wow. So it
And
was
now
in the coffee cup?
no, it was on the floor underneath the chair, which I didn't know it. And so now I put it in the coffee cup because it ain't gonna go anywhere else. It's gonna stay right there.
You
But
know, my
now,
mom used to always pray to Saint Anthony when there was something missing. So I totally get that.
and I had this pendant I got from Bishop Long. It's Archangel Michael the Archangel, Catholic thing, and I got a.
Oh,
I got,
is he the exorcist
he's
or a demonologist or
yeah, Bishop Long,
yeah.
yeah, and
I believe we've had him on.
he blesses these pendants and he sends it to you. His chain was a little bit different. I got this Italian silver chain for $28.
I love it.
But I
Great.
made it nice and strong chain, and it looks nice. And it's silver. So if I have to ever use silver, I got my silver weapon.
Do
right
you think
here.
you're gonna have like a problem with werewolves?
I have no clue. Whatever or any kind of negative entity, silver or iron will work for it.
There you go. Yeah, carry some iron nails.
Like you can say, like on the Supernatural show, they'd always test people. Oh, see if they can grab a hold of the silver fork and see if they're
Either that or yeah, throw some salt at them maybe.
And I put salt lines out here, and believe it or not, salt lines help. But I didn't believe it at first,
Oh, I do that. I actually do use salt. What's funny is my girls know that I really do have a lot of broad beliefs. So when we go into church, I always at the front of the church, there's the font, the baptismal font, the holy water is right there. And I always go like this. And I stare at them and I smile and they're like, Mom, don't do it. Don't do it. They're testing to see if it boils if I touch it. And this is real. I mean, every single time we walk in, I'm like, should I do it? Should I do it? And they're like, don't, it'll boil over. Your secret will be released and the whole church will know that you're a wacko. I'm like, yeah, well.
Hey, Kimberly.
Yes, long time no see.
Our
Hello,
friend Kimberly. She's a musician, country musician.
Ooh, awesome.
And obviously it says it in her name, Kimberly Ward.
Okay, Bobby, are you ready?
Yes, just let me get you at the ready. All right, here we go.
So on these salt lines, what happened was I decided, I have a lot of activity here, and without the salt mines, they would come up to me and be tapping me at nighttime, messing with me, things like that. And I could feel things like that. And they can be a lot of rambunctious noises. 10-year-old guy, 10-year-old boy I have running around the house here. But anyway, what was interesting was I decided I got some salt, so I poured some lines out and blocked off 2 doorways. And of course, I always step over them, and I put some salt on the bottom step that's going upstairs. And now they can't come down past the bottom step, well, because you can't cross the salt line, right? So
Right.
I had one guy upstairs who was really mad. I can hear him slamming around, getting all mad 'cause he couldn't come down past the step. Well, you guys are just so noisy and rude, wouldn't let me sleep. So I got to have some kind of control.
Oh,
So
Yes.
I didn't want to
Did
get
it
rid of
work?
them. Yes, it did. It slowed down the activity in where I'm staying, right here in the living room or in the, in my recliner.
Have you ever used black protective salt?
No.
Oh, buddy. We'll have to talk later.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Go ahead with the reading
Okay.
for Bobby.
Here's the deck. Okay. Okay. So, which one? Let's let you actually choose. So, give me a number and I'll do it from left to right. I'll choose your that card.
I'll go with 9.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is an interesting one. So you got sort of an odd looking card right there, but it's the moon and it is for attraction. Oh, what a dream to find love and attachment as strong and enduring as that of the moon and the earth. Some relationships are inexplicable, bound by a bond we cannot see, but equal to the force of attraction is that of aversion. Both feelings are worthy of acknowledgement, yet we often sidestep the latter in favor of hope and a desire to steady the boat. Ironically, by ignoring our instincts, we often find ourselves facing the conflict we had wished to avoid. Instead of ignoring it, listen to your gut. You know what you should do. So that one's a pretty strong card.
Nice.
Pretty strong. Yeah. Okay. Let's do one more, Bobby. Give me another number. And you can do it from the left or the right, whichever you prefer.
I'll go with 14.
14 from the left or the right?
The right.
Okay.
On the other side. I see what he's doing. He's mixing it up.
11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, this one's very similar.
Wow.
This one is. Let's see. Well, it's not going to focus on it, but oh, there we go. A little bit. It's the stars. Aspirations. Okay. If the stars could talk, they would tell you, let it go and glow. Shine your light. Now is the time. Those itty bitty teeny tiny thoughts, the ones that put you in a box, placed on a shelf, and have ignored all of these years. It is time to take them down, dust them off, and shine them up. Aspirations are for igniting action, striving toward and achieving. Discard those items you should have burned a long time ago. Coax those embers and flame them. If the stars could talk, they would tell you, glow, damn it, glow.
Wow.
I like that. So you got the moon and the stars out of this deck. And let me tell you, this deck is fantastical beings and creatures. So that's really odd that out of all of these, you get the moon and stars.
I like that.
Do you want one more?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Give me another number.
Okay. Let's do 12 from the left.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. Oh, this one's interesting. Talk about going from massive, the stars and the moon, to something really tiny. Cyanobacteria. Crap, you can barely tell what it is. Cyanobacteria. Okay. For rhythms. Rhythms and cycles abound in our diverse world. From cyanobacteria to complex life forms, each of us moves through phases, reaching an end to start all over again. Fighting change is futile and discouraging. It is like denying the inevitability of death. On the other hand, embracing these rhythms can release friction and redirect necessary energy that would otherwise be useful for your growth and well-being. As stress and anxiety mount, reflect and resync with nature's rhythms. Close your eyes and listen to the beat. Nice. So that goes from extremely broad to very, very specific and very tiny and what we wouldn't even be able to see with our naked eye. That's so cool.
Yep.
Yep.
So thank you.
You're welcome. Those are pretty incredible cards, I think. But because a lot of these are strange. A lot of them are just animals, but there's also fairies and unicorns. This one's one of my favorites. Where'd it go? Well, crap, it just vanished. This one's hilarious. Do you know what that is? Let's see.
I know, it's like so bright I can't even tell.
Oh, there we go. What do you think that is?
That's like a deer.
It's a jackalope. I mean, a jackalope. So the jackalope is portmanteau. So who said that it can't be? What a boring and uninspiring attitude. With so many options, choices, and possibilities, how could it not be? Take the jackalope, this portmanteau. Am I even pronouncing that right? Portmanteau? Wow. This combination of words, jackrabbit and antelope. At first blush, it appears improbable. But then again, what of dinosaurs, amoeba, and bacteria? What of humans, the stars, and the universe? These things are implausible, yet there they are. Foster your imagination, make room for the impossible, and embrace the unbelievable. So, sort of cool. And if anybody wants to know what cards I'm reading from, it is Fantastic Being. It's called Nature Inspired Manifestation Cards.
All right.
So from Avec La Vie with Life, Rebecca Lefebvre. I didn't know I butchered the last name. I apologize. But I do love these cards.
Cool.
So
nice.
I take them everywhere with me. They go everywhere. And they have a fantastic case that I found.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you a little story. So I had these in a bag, a little, I don't know, a canvas bag with some crystals, and I had a little jar of essential oils, lavender essential oils with it. Mm-hmm. And I broke the jar of essential oils.
Oh, no.
But what's crazy is I had 2 decks of cards. One of them was in this. Okay. The other one was in this. And neither one of them, and not one of the cards, had any oils on them at all. And the bag was only this big. So although they smelled like the essential oils didn't get onto the containers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be messed up for sure.
But I had the crystals, and there was oil all over the crystals. So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
The crystals protected the cards.
Maybe. I have no idea, but it doesn't make any sense. This is not, it was not normal, and it confused the hell out of me. It still confuses me. How's that?
But then again, in our line of work, whatever makes sense anyway in our existence.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I mean,
now we're getting to the point where we're waking up, not to get political, but what's her name said, are you woke yet? Are you woke yet? Yeah. Listen, I've been.
Are you woke yet?
Yeah, that's what she says.
I don't like that word.
I don't either.
and I don't know. I don't like it because I feel that it is.
It's diminutive. It's depressing, actually. I think.
It has a very negative connotation.
Putting a person down, yeah. Like, are you smart or are you dumb or what? Whatever. However you would ask that, depending on who you are.
Asshat. That sounds like it's from Supernatural, also.
But anyway, in this case, though, we are spiritually. I think we are waking up. See, what I learned in the last few years that I've taken it seriously, and I've actually learned this, is that I'm a spiritual being from a long time ago, and I've only been here in this body for 63 years. Okay, so I'm only here in this body for 100 years. If I'm lucky enough. All right. 80 if I'm not. Maybe I'll check out at 80. I don't know. I'm not trying to rush anything, but just saying, with my health issues, my family's health issues, and things like that. If I live to be 100, that'd be amazing. But anyway, beyond all that, we are still a spiritual being in a physical body. Okay? We're not a spiritual being and that's all we are. No, we have a physical body. We have a spiritual inside that is communicating with the spirit up there or source or whatever, or with all the spiritual lives around us, including aliens. And I think possibly aliens could be spirits. We don't know.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I don't think they're fallen angels. I'm not saying that. I think they're created beings that are coming to communicate with us for whatever reason. Maybe to check us out, to see how far we come along and see how, right now it's not looking too good. The way we're acting, overall, the way the world's acting, we're not doing too well at all. And I can see anybody coming. There's a meme on Facebook that goes around. I bet the aliens fly past Earth and they roll up their windows and lock their doors.
Yes. If they're smart.
Yeah. Because obviously we're not mature enough to even be able to talk with them. Which is sad because there are some of us that are. And that's what I said. That question. If an alien asked me to go for a ride, I'd say, let me get my bag. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even worry about coming back. I wouldn't worry about I wouldn't worry about if I'd grow any, how much time I'd miss it. I don't think very many people. I mean, you might miss me on Friday night, like where's Ron at? But for the most part, nobody's gonna miss one if I'm.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I don't like that. I don't like that kind of talk.
Sometimes I feel like that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest part, living alone. You don't have anyone like that, So
do you have a kitty or a puppy?
No, I don't have any. Nothing. I have the spirits. That's all I have. I have the spirits that live here.
Yeah.
We still got about 6 more minutes, and we're going to probably take this as our last question. If you burn the candles, perhaps the smoke from the candles adhere to the crystal's oily residue?
I don't know. I find it odd that the crystals had the oil, like it was like an anointing oil, right? Yeah. But the cards weren't touched. The cards. I mean, I really thought that I would open the cards up and they would be just destroyed.
You'd have to replace them. Yeah.
I don't know if I could replace them. I don't know where I mean, I put a link in there, but I just like this deck. I like these. I have an attachment to them.
Yeah, that's why I like my angel cards that I use.
I do love the angel cards too. There's another set that I have that I really like, and it's Galactic Wisdom.
Ooh,
Have you all
I like
seen
that.
this one?
Hang on.
And
Would
sorry.
you like to?
Galactic Wisdom cards. It's sort of hard.
Like
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have it has sort of gods, goddesses, the Syrian beings, Mother Mary, Lyran Star, Holy Spirit, Commander Ashtar, archangels. You've got the Andromedan star beings. They've got all of these different types of beings and even people from our past, our history, and it's a good set to use every once in a while. It gives me a little bit more of an inspirational, almost like a connection to our spirits and our guides. That is more of a star being type card deck. Yeah, I like it.
All right.
So.
Oh yeah. Well,
if you wanted, would you want to do a reading?
We want to thank Tiffany for being with us.
Yeah, I think we did. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on one second, Bobby. Can you do a reading for me with those?
With those cards? Are you sure? Oh, buddy.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do it. And these cards actually these are gorgeous. Ooh, so they have really beautiful pictures, right?
Yeah, nice.
And the outsides are gold, so it just feels really fancy. And I like glitter and sparkle. I just love crystals and stuff like that. So this has a really good, just a beautiful feel.
I don't know if you know that I do gold prospect or.
Oh yes, I know. So you would like these cards? Look at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those.
There you go.
Now, if you could when you do the card, if you can take a picture of them.
Sure.
And send them to the messenger.
Okay. All right. So how do you want me to do this? The same way that I did it with Bobby?
Yes. And if you can do 3 cards, I'd like 3 cards, please.
3 cards. Okay. So we'll do it numbers again. That's just the easiest for me so that I know I'm not.
How many cards we got?
I have no idea. I would assume like 52, like a deck. I don't know. I have no idea.
Tarot card. Okay. So.
Are you with us?
Number popped in my head. I said 38.
38. Oh, good Lord. You got to make me count.
Okay. Hey, sorry about that. That's what.
That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how somebody else wanted me to do it that way, and I said, "There's too many cards here. I can't count all." Takes the whole show to count up here.
20, 23, 29, 30. Getting there. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Oh, wait, 38. Okay. Okay. 38 was okay. Oh shit.
If you can't show it, you can just take a picture of it. You can read it.
Oh, Gaia.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
Gaia.
Now that's interesting.
You are deeply connected to Gaia's soul. Connect with Gaia through your feet. The spirit of Gaia makes you safe and secure. I think that one of the ideas would be grounding, getting back to that place where you connect not only to yourself, but the earth and all of the things that we are made of. So I like that card. And let's see if there's any kind of wisdom behind it that we can add.
Thinking of Gaia, the big networking platform, Gaia,
Well, Gaia is Earth, right?
Yeah.
So it says the meaning, make a conscious connection with Gaia's soul and spirit. Your physical body is her divine light in all 4 elements. water, fire, air, and earth. Now, I pause with that because I also add spirit to the elements.
Okay.
Like
Gaia,
like Captain Planet, heart.
yes, the heart, exactly. She is like the archangels. Connecting with her more will help you. It will quieten your mind, soothe your nervous system, and slow down your pace of life. So that one's beautiful.
I like that.
Okay, so you want 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay, give me another one. Can we maybe not do the 158th one?
Oh my gosh.
all right.
Or we can make it interesting and we can count in Greek or Spanish. So
Oh boy.
whichever. Okay, come on. Okay.
Okay, let's keep with even numbers. We'll do 20.
Okay.
From the left to 20.
From the left?
Yeah. I was thinking from the left the last time as well, so you had it right. See, this is kind of a remote view. This is a remote viewing right here.
So, oh, this is another really good one. Okay, so Melchizedek. Melchizedek, let your decisions be led by the light. You are an important part of the larger plan. Think big and live out your mission. That's a good one.
Wow. With the Gaia. Okay, actually, yeah, that could work.
Yep. Okay. So the problem is I just remembered that I left one of the cards on my nightstand. So you're getting gypped by one card in the deck.
What's up there on a nightstand? Which one?
It is, hold on, I have to find it in here. It's, I believe, hold on one second. It's Archangel Metatron is up on my nightstand. So you get gypped by that guy.
What is the number?
Damn.
It's hard to show you, but that is the card. Okay, but you didn't get that one.
No.
You got Melchizedek. No. Okay.
Okay,
so,
no, that's fine. That's fine. We can work with what we got. That's fine.
Okay. So the meaning of that card is that you're supposed to take a more leading role in your life. Let your new decisions be filled with light. Your life and your experiences are more important, or they're a very important part of the whole galaxy and all other galaxies. Take responsibility, therefore, for what you create and what you think. Everything is energy and part of a larger configuration of light. So as we've talked, throughout this time, we've thought about connecting with other beings, right? So our being can connect with others, and what we can do, we can do great things. I think that we can connect and learn great things and be part of this universal body.
And not to be afraid of it and not to abuse it, but use it responsibly.
Yeah.
So, and there are times in general life when we need to communicate with people that sometimes regular communication isn't the best way to go about it.
Yeah. Well, there's more. It says, therefore, be more energy conscious and conscious of creating using the light. So there's a need for co-creative abilities and a new form of leadership. Start co-creating with others from your heart and from the light and for the good of all. So I think it sounds like you've got a little bit of a mission. Connect to the divisions of light within your master energy and use your master energy to lead and inspire others. I really like that card.
I
think that's good advice. It's good soul advice.
I think I'm kind of doing that.
I think that's what we try to do with our podcasts.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do with Errt Radio in general. And I'm trying to connect with a bunch of different sources, which is not easy to do. and especially when everything costs money, you know. And
everything's gotten sky high.
Yeah, and I do things on a budget of no money, so it's a little bit challenging.
Yes.
But
yeah. But
get one more card. One
more card. Okay, give me your number.
Let's make it easy. Still even though.
Okay.
6.
All right. Left or right?
From the left. 6.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting.
I do the same thing. Oh, I like this card.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, amethyst too.
Your crystalline body. Picture yourself as a sparkling white diamond, Bobby.
not me.
That's what you said earlier. You said you wanted a diamond, remember? Planet of diamonds.
Yeah.
So it's directed at me, but it could be spoken to other people here.
Yes. The light is activating your full potential. You are an explosion of light. So let's see what else that has to say. Your crystalline body. Okay, so the meaning. You are about to transform from a pupa into a butterfly. You are shining more brightly and in several aspects of your life. Do not hold back. Step into your full potential and look ahead. On all levels, your life is in the midst of the great expansion. Let go, fly, and feel the flow. Trust in what is happening. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. And
galactic wisdom, people.
And that's actually what I'm working on is developing or enhancing the third eye, so to speak. And it's not easy because there isn't a whole lot of people to work with. Don't want to take time. But Amy had a question, had some choice. Did you get a picture?
Well, it's actually a comment.
Did you get a picture of those cards though?
I'm going to. Yep, I could take it now.
Yeah, and Amy wanted.
And I think do we have time to have Amy's reading or?
Oh yeah, let's do it. With which deck? The Fantastic Beings or the Galactic?
She meant the same card. She just said the numbers.
Okay, our card choices for. Okay, let me go back and we'll.
You want the same card deck I just used, Amy?
We must be cautious about. Okay, our chart. All right, same the Galactic Wisdom or Fantastic Beings.
Yeah, if you're still here, Amy.
Yeah, she's here.
Which deck? Uh-oh. We must be cautious about asking a question in which we are not prepared for the answer.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
That's all part of learning, though. Sometimes we have to ask those hard questions.
Yes, I agree.
You know? And as far as, I'd probably just use the same deck, I think.
You want to just use the same deck, the Galactic Wisdom?
I think that's why she just said the numbers. She didn't say the name of the.
Okay. So we'll do 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So number 3. Oh gosh. Archangel Michael.
Oh.
Michael embraces you with his energy. Tap into your power. You are free. So let's look at.
We're going to have a show with you just doing card readings.
I'm definitely not a professional, but I enjoy this.
That's what's fun about that, though, is that we're not professionals.
I don't know. Are there professional? I'm guessing there are, but
there are, but we don't charge anything for what we're doing. We're having fun.
No, I definitely don't. If I got some money, it would be a shock.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so meaning Inappropriate threads of energy binding you in relationships are being lanced and liberated. Set clear, healthy boundaries for others and honor your own energy and your light. Archangel Michael supports you in situations and phases where you need to rediscover your inner power. Be aware that you do not take responsibility for the actions and lives of others. You show the way by showing how you can tap into your own inner power. Be a pace setter and stand proud. Now that one's really incredible, but there are a few, there's a few energetic exercises that go along with these. So I will send those to Ron and we can disperse them as needed.
If
All right.
Are you in the chat group at all? In the Skype chat groups?
Amy's going to add you to it if you're on Skype.
I'm not sure. I think that I'm involved with one or two.
Yeah, like
I could probably post them in there.
Like the guild, like the
Oh yes, the Miners Guild.
Yeah,
Asteroid Miner Guild. Yeah, I'm in that one. Okay.
She's part of that, so you can definitely connect with her there.
Okay, so 3. And then number 14, we'll say from the left or the right, Bobby?
Well, it's Amy.
No. Bobby, I'm asking you to say it because Amy is not. Oh, there. Oh, she has responded. Okay. There's an awful delay. Yes, there is.
Probably
at least a minute or two. Oh, at least okay. Bobby, left or right, do you think?
Let's go to the right.
Okay. So we're gonna do 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, sorry about that, Amy.
14. Okay. Woo. Oh, this one's good. Connecting with nature. It's sort of odd how the background, the damn background screws everything up, doesn't it?
It really does.
Dang it. Anyway. So it's a looks like it's a female standing with a circle of light around her, and then what looks like sort of the like a DNA strand of light going around her body, and then there is a circle on either side and above. It says connecting with nature. Going for walks in nature will benefit you. Let nature cleanse you and recharge you. Trust in life and let the magic unfold.
Okay. And it's nice. Our last number is 15. Let's do it from the left.
All right. 15 from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
See, Amy,
7 just flew out at me. Do you want to do 7? We'll save 7 for later. 7.
All right. 7 will be the extra one.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
I like that when
15.
You just fly out at you.
That was really odd. I mean, it literally just jumped. Okay. Oh, I love this one so much. Oh, and I know nobody's going to be able to see the damn thing, which sucks. Let's see.
I can barely see it, yeah.
It is a white dragon with a rose for a heart and a circle all the way around her. It says Goddess Sophia's dragon energy. Heart energy is an infinite source of love. The rose of your heart portal is now lighting up. You are guided by the wisdom of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one a lot.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So let's see if I can find the actual. Yes.
Yeah,
so the meaning of this card. Do not let yourself be limited by what you are experiencing right now. Think big. See your heart as a giant portal of heart energy. You are connected to other people in a network of light interlinking your hearts. You can therefore never be alone. Broaden your horizons. When in doubt, feel the interconnectedness in everything. Receive the pink, gold, and white light. You are the eternal light of love.
Nice.
Those are awesome. Okay, so do we want to see the one that jumped out?
Yeah, what's number 7?
Yeah.
Let's see what number 7 is.
Got the supper bonus
And
coming, Amy.
for the comments delay, if you were to send your comment 2 minutes earlier, then we would have seen it on time.
Yes. Okay.
I'm kidding.
This one's the best right here. Shit.
Put your hand behind it, see if that helps. No.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. Too bright. Okay. Gaia. She got the Gaia card. So
All
you are
right.
deeply connected to Gaia's soul. Connect with Gaia through your feet. The spirit of Gaia makes you safe and secure. So
Wow.
there we go. Those were great.
I'll be working right next to Amy then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There
Yeah.
you go.
All right.
I'm going to take a picture of that and be able to send that to you guys.
Gosh,
Well, this was so much fun. Let's see if I could take that real quick.
Let me tell you, I read auras through the internet, right?
Oh, God. What does that mean? I know what it means, but
I
what
can
do
read-
I look like? Am I terrifying?
No, not at all. No, every time I see you, when I watch Universal Secrets,
Mm-hmm.
and you and Kevin have a different way, energy that you give off. I like both of you, of course, obviously. But anyway, your energy. What I do when I read the auras, and I do this in everyday life when I go out to the store and I read people's auras, I don't tell them, but I see them. I know what they are. I know how their attitudes are. I can tell if they're in a good mood or bad mood.
Right.
And I know how to respond to them or how to react or how to act around them because I know what their aura is telling me. I know what their energy is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how to. That's a safety feature, actually.
Absolutely, it is.
And but if you tell them, then of course you're going to try to change it or try to hide it or whatever like that. So don't tell them. You just know. You just know what the deal is. And I see these three colors a lot in everybody's readings, which is probably common auras. And how I read it is the closest is the one closest to your inner self, okay, and then the second level, and then the third level. So I see it like in a rainbow, but from the innermost color to the middle color to the third color. That makes sense?
Uh-huh.
So, your inner color, what I would call your primary color now, it might be different next week or it might be different
Right.
tomorrow, depending on what you're dealing with at the moment. Okay. And if you have any kind of visitation, that might change your whole vibration. You know?
True.
And but anyway, right now, what I see is your primary color is green.
Ooh. And what
Okay?
do you feel? What do you think that means? Do you have
Now,
a feeling
green,
about it?
if you look at the chakras, look at the body chakras, green is dealing with the heart chakra. Oh,
There's my skull chakra stone.
yeah. And
Pretty awesome.
heart is meaning that you have a sincere feeling and caring for people. Okay. And I don't know that the skull is any part of my reading, though, that I think of. But anyway, not saying it's not there. It's just not in the primary 3 that I'm reading, which is the first 3. And I have read more than 3,
Mm-hmm.
but usually I just stick with the 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then the second one that I usually see in a lot of people is orange.
So green, orange. And what does
Okay.
the orange mean?
The orange is creative.
Mm-hmm.
Creative ability, just like you're saying,
Yeah.
what I have on the cards, So you have a creative ability. Whether that means you're gonna have another podcast, or you want to do more shows, you want to do more interviews with people, and whatever that is,
I think it's probably me building my greenhouse and
yeah,
bonding with my herbs.
and that could be too. That could be all. That could be all part of it. That could be all part of it. And
Right.
then the other one, though, obviously you like to talk a lot, right?
Yeah, I used to get in trouble for it all the time at school.
So the other one would be blue, which is your throat chakra. So you have your green, your heart chakra, your orange chakra, which is in your midsection, I guess. And then you have your blue chakra, which is your throat chakra, which is your voice. Okay? So, there you have it.
We're 20 minutes over, Ron.
20 minutes over. What the hell? That's when I lost my connection. So can't help that. That's 20 minutes we lost my connection.
Bobby's going to lose it if we don't get off here.
I know it. No, well, we can talk all night, I'm sure. And but thank you for spending tonight with us and making up the time that we missed last time. But,
thank you for having me. I did, unfortunately, migraines happen, and the night that we had our scheduled, I ended up having a severe migraine, and then last week, Kevin has his. So, unfortunately, they're crippling, and but we made it up. We got 2 hours and 20 minutes.
There you go. Yeah, and that was I was thinking Tuesday night. I was thinking, did I miss an announcement somewhere? I know I didn't.
Yeah, it was really bad because we had Lee Pennington on, who was his one of his favorite topics is the Bosnian pyramids, and I've heard a lot of things about them in the past, when it was really sort of discovered after the war in Yugoslavia, Bosnia. And it was definitely, it seems like it may have been more of a money-making idea than it might have actually been a human-created pyramid. But I don't know, because I didn't get to talk to him, right? So,
but there's a lot more pyramids around than they're talking about.
True. So it's I haven't been there, but I would love to hear his side since he did the documentaries on it. So,
but like you got those down in Mexico where you got the pyramids that shouldn't be there. There's pyramids there.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, just watch that platform guy you see what I'm talking about down there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I had a really good time this evening. Bobby, you're awesome. Ron, thank you. You guys have really made me feel comfortable here, and I am so thankful that you let me come on your show.
And you are welcome anytime to come back, or
yes,
if you have something else to share, and you say, hey, I want to talk about this or whatever.
Sure, absolutely.
I would sure like to talk about maybe some more religious ideas. We were talking about the Apocrypha, the original.
The Apocrypha, yes. Yeah. I've actually got it here somewhere. I need to dig back into it. And the Book of Enoch is another good one. So I've got them. I just need to dig into them.
We're just going to have some interesting conversations, not anything as a matter of fact, and we're not going to try to be right about it or nothing like that. It's just about sharing our thoughts and concerns about what we're looking at.
Okay.
That's why I want
fantastic.
To talk about it. And then the main thing is to just bring a message to whoever might be receptive to it. And who knows? We might learn something. Maybe we'll teach someone else something, But you never know.
Yeah.
But the thing is not to be forceful, not to be as a matter of fact type of attitude. Just have hey, here's our thought, here's our message. And if anybody has any other thoughts or wants to add to it, come on, talk to us about it,
Yeah.
Well, Deb, you are very welcome again. So, you're again. Anytime you want to talk about that or set up a time where we can have an extra show or something. Well, apparently we have an extra night open. We got Thursday night open now. So
absolutely, just we'll reconnect.
All right. Yep. Thank you. All right.
So
have a good night.
Yes. Good night, Tiffany.
Good night, Bobby. Good night, Ron.
Bye.
Yeah. All right.
Good night.
Bye.
So we want to say thank you for Amy, Genghis, if he still was here, and Greg O'Brien, if he still was here.
And Kimberly was here.
And yeah, Kimberly on Facebook was here.
Yeah, that was nice of her to join in and say hi.
Yeah. So with all that said and done. Uncle, I'm trying to do a show. The Pros reminds you that you should continue listening and watching the Errt video on your favorite device on Mixer, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Trovo, RC, and Rumble. And with your glorious gift of $40 by going to ertradio.com and hit that big PayPal button, you will receive this nice glorious hat while supplies last. Because if you do not, I will either call my Bumblebee or even my TIE Fighter. I will beam you up. You better pray to God because you don't know what's going to happen to you and your wallet. Thank you.
All right, so everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your night. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you and good night.
Good night. Thank you for watching.